Hey y'all, just wanted to share a little bit with you. I was sharing this earlier with someone and they said, you know what, you should really share more of that because so many people are struggling right now. So most of you know back on August 19th of last year, John and I lost a very dear friend. His name's Presley Stutz. To say that that didn't shake us to the core would be a blatant lie. You know, John and I we can cover a lot of pain in public, but the loss of Presley, who's one of our best friends, it was devastating. So I said, you know, two things that really made me lose a piece of myself. And, you know, losing Presley, that made me so angry. Not angry at God, but angry at the position that we're put in our nation, where one of my best friends goes to the hospital and he never comes out. I was angry. And then, you know, John and I really stepped up even more to start fighting for our nation. How did that love for our nation plus my friend's death really caused me to lose a piece of myself? Because you get surrounded by people who you think have the same goals. But now I look around and there were a lot of masks that people were wearing. And that happens in everyday life, so I don't feel bad that, you know, during our time of grief, we kind of got sucked in a little bit to some of their ploys on how they can, you know, thought they could change this nation, but they had no desire to change this nation and they still don't. So, you know, the loss of Presley and then really just how we were fighting so hard that we let our guard down a little bit, you know, that caused me to lose a little bit of my own goals. We became so focused on that we were flying around the nation, which I don't regret at all, nor does John. You know, we have met so many great people and we're still doing that, but you know, we kind of lost focus, or I did, not so much John, kind of lost focus. And you know, I know you can tell I've been running, obviously I'm back home now, but one of my goals was long distance running. And when Presley died and, you know, John and I started traveling and really just started stepping out and just voicing who we are as conservatives and why people should step up, you know, I pushed a lot of myself to the side. That should never happen. You shouldn't have to compromise your own goals to assist other people. But, you know, once again, grief does a crazy thing. And, you know, losing a friend shook us to our core. So, you know, what really caused me to step out of that, it was three things. And if you're at a place like this right now, like I said, I'm just cooling down. I just did 4 miles, so I'm a lot sweaty and I'm just walking around the neighborhood. But maybe this will inspire you. If you've lost a little bit of yourself through where our nation currently is, or through this pandemic, or whatever you call it, I don't care what your political affiliation is. You know, we all deserve the right to achieve our goals as long as they're ethical and moral, and in some way contribute to our own personal growth in society. But you know, the three things that really woke me out of what I kind of fell into when we lost Presley, and others lost Presley. Obviously, Presley was dear to so many people. One of the things was, you know, I was talking to someone about our business the other day, and we're building the team across the nation of conservatives who are focused on building business, changing lives, and changing the face of our nation, taking our nation back. But one of them asked me the other night, you know, what makes you different? What makes you different? And I thought, you know, if this person doesn't know what makes me different, what makes John different, then we've really fallen away from what everyone used to know about me. What makes me different is, you know, we're those uncommon people and common people. And I'm not specifically talking about anyone. John and I just always go after our goals. And so I lost a little bit of that because I really started focusing on, you know, everyone else instead of myself too. And once again, that was really due to grief and, you know, just the state of our nation at that time. And not to say we're not still going through grief, but sometimes you've got to wake up. So, you know, just someone saying to me, what makes you different, really just made me take a step back and say, what does make me different? The other thing, and I'm sure I'll tag her in it so she'll hear it. Once again, a goal of mine is long distance running. I love to run long distances. I'm not the fastest, but you don't have to be. I don't judge myself against other people. My friend Tiffany, she in Tennessee, she runs like these 100-milers, and she was just crewing Badwater this past weekend. She's doing what I want to do. And for months I've set, after I kind of got a little lazy and, like I said, fell into this putting my goals to the side, I watched her and, run these 100-milers and, do all these crazy runs and things that I would love to do. And just when I read about her crewing at Badwater this weekend, I said to myself, why are you watching her on Facebook? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you stepping out like she is? It's not easy for her to get up and go run 100 miles or go run 150 miles or go run 5 miles some days, but she does it. So that's the second thing. And Tiffany, thank you for being such a badass. And yes, I can say badass as a Christian, because that's truly what she is. So if you're one of those that are just going to judge me for saying that, just click stop right now and stop following me. She inspired me to go after my goals. Again, she's somebody that, she does it. So, that's number 2. The third thing is, God has really brought some people into our lives that we met through the Patriot movement. And we had to weed through a lot, and we still are weeding through a lot of other people that, I believe the devil kind of put in our path. We're watching the mask be removed, but, he brought a lot of great patriots into our lives, and we're blessed right now, bigger than ever, with our business because of that. And I'm meeting so many great Americans, and, I have the pleasure of being on the phone with so many great Americans every single day. Hey, George. George is one of those people, because anybody that knows me knows I'm a go-getter. So I decided to get my real estate license in Florida just to add to me being an attorney and different things. It was just great for our business. And George is one of the Patriot realtors that we recently met. So he's amazing. He's here in West Palm Beach. But, God has put a lot of people in our path, great patriots. I'm on the phone sometimes 20 to 50 people a day with our current business, just building a team of conservatives across the nation, and I love it. That's just something that has really just snapped me back into, what John and I have built for 20 years. Hey, Carla. Carla's another great patriot. She understands what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, Carla lost her sister and other family members about the same time we lost Presley. And so she can understand how that level of grief just really drives you to be better for other people, but sometimes you forget yourself. So Carla's another great person I see here. And thank you, Carla, for just stepping out. And she spoke at our last event and being so brave. Your bravery is contagious. But, those are the three things that, once again, just really pulled me out of my funk, I guess you'd say. I wouldn't say laziness, because I'm not a lazy person by any means. My own mother can tell you that. She would not allow that at any point in my life for me to be lazy, and she instilled that to me even today. Thank you, Pam. You're inspiring too. Pam, you're awesome. But, the 3 things that really snapped me out of it were someone asking me why I was different. Number 2, my friend Tiffany, who runs long distances, she gets out there. She's a badass, like I said. And just seeing what she's doing has just inspired me to, get out of this kind of funk I was in and get back out and start running and sign up for a 25K and, get back out there and start going for what she's doing with, 100 milers and different things like that, because we do share those same goals. So thanks, Tiff, for that. And then just number 3, just God, during this season of change, just really putting me around so many great people. Just even some of the ones that have jumped on here and they're listening. It takes an army sometimes to do what we do. Someone told John and I today, someone we don't even know, but I had the pleasure of talking with, he told us that we were doing God's work. I do believe that, but sometimes it gets so difficult that you lose touch of, the impact that you're, obviously making. And we know we're changing lives, but at the same time, I know that a lot of you out there also, do a lot of the same work we do, or do something in your own capacity where you change lives and make the world a better place. But just don't get into that funk like I did, and lose that little piece of yourself. You don't have to give up things you want for yourself, even if it's just like for me was the running long distances, and really getting out there and taking my fitness to the next level, being healthy. I lost that running piece. I lost that long distance running, and while that might not mean anything to you, it means everything to me. It's something I love to do. So if you've lost something, and once again, for those of you that just jumped on, I just finished a 4-mile run, so I look a wreck, but that's okay. If you go to the gym and you're wearing makeup and you're there to look pretty, you're going for the wrong reason. I'll just put that out there. But or if you run at night, like it's pretty late here, I'm not going to put on makeup and go run. That just makes no sense. That's not what I'm running for. But it's just, we have to remember we live in the greatest nation in the world. Yeah, there's some things going on right now that are destructive. People are suffering. We talk to a lot of those people every single day. But we have our faith. We have freedom. Yeah, I said freedom. You can walk out. You can go to the grocery store. You can go to church. You can go see your family. You can do things. You can achieve your goals. You're free. So when people say I've lost all my freedoms, no, you haven't. You just haven't toured the world like John and I have and seen people who have actually lost freedoms. So stop that nonsense. But this is just, I'll be doing more of these videos, just for one, because someone had asked me to, but for another, I think a lot of us have lost a little piece of ourselves when we lost people through this whole, like I said, pandemic or whatever you want to call it. We have different opinions on that, and I'm just going to leave that right there. But grief does cause you to take a step back, and I'm not even going to say it didn't. It did for me, but I believe faith and friends and family cause you to really pick back up where you were and then just move forward. And if I know Carla, like I said, lost her sister and other family members, and I know she's had to pick herself up, and Carla's on here right now, and just keep moving forward. And that's what those people would want you to do anyway. With Presley, I know he would be angry that me or John maybe sidetracked a goal or two. So that's definitely not something I'm going to continue doing, even if it's something as simple as long distance running for me. But once again, your goal might not be long distance running. Maybe it's something not even dealing with fitness. Maybe it's going back to school, or getting a specific career, or being closer to your family, or just anything that's important to you. I just encourage you, go after it. Don't let anything get in the way. We all have to do life. We all really should be out there making a difference in the world and doing our part. John and I, anybody that knows us, know that we do that on a daily basis, pretty much 24/7, and we love it. But at the same time, you've got to live out your God-given destiny. You've got to fight for, what God's called you to be in life. I believe God has called all of us to be something, to do something, to bless other people. And that's not always pretty. When we do things like that, sometimes in order to be a blessing, you have to be very truthful, and that truth hurts sometimes. But we're all called to do different things, and we all have those strengths, and we've just got to determine what those strengths are. So once again, John and I are super blessed. For me, this was just a little bit of a sidestep. I really realized that too when I was with my family this past weekend. Our family is first. God, family, business. We've always led our lives like that. And, it's when you're around your loved ones, you really say, wow, I want to be better. I want to be better for them. I want to be better for me. Especially, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 12-year-old. They really push you to be better, especially if you're talking to them about their lives. So just a little bit of encouragement. Once again, don't be afraid to get out there and get in the fight for what you want. Going into combat for things can be very scary. We all know that. But, the combat can be scary as long as you can still fight. And that comes from the great David Goggins. He says that a lot. So you can fearfully go into combat, but just keep those gloves up and keep punching. All right, guys, I'm sure I'll see you again soon. I'm going to keep this up so I can stay out of my funk, and definitely give me a shout out and let me know what you're doing. I'm so inspired by other people, like I'm inspired by my friend Tiffany, who I'll tag on this because she's just amazing with what she's doing with running. So I'll also talk to you guys about more inspiring people, because I have so many people in my life that God's blessed me with, that are truly just once again, total badasses in their own right. And I'm just proud to know them. But anyway, good night, guys. We'll talk again soon. Have a wonderful evening.